Assalamu alaikum and hello everyone. My name is Umair Javed. I've been working in HR consultant since last 7 years. To talk about HR, HR is a prominent name in study with the consultancy. We have been a leading consultancy firm since last 27 years, and we are proud of the fact that HR is renowned for providing transparent information and flawless work to the students in Pakistan. Well, we are going to discuss about UK, about studies in UK, and to talk about UK, it is the most loved destination among the international students, and the announcement of graduate immigration route GIR, which was previously known as post-study work permit, has made UK more attractive for the student as they will have the opportunity to stay and work in UK for 2 more years after the completion of their degree programs. Today's session is a very important one for all those of you who are targeting top ranked universities for admission in UK, as we will talk about University of Leeds, which is one of the top ranked universities of UK, and it is a part of Russell Group, which itself is a group of 24 elite research oriented universities. Leeds in the world, it is among the top 100 universities, and in UK it is the 13th ranked university according to Good University Guide 2020. Well, I have my colleague Ms. Zainab with me. She'll introduce herself, and we have Christina with us from University of Leeds, who will guide us thoroughly about the University of Leeds and will be open to your questions. So please feel free to drop out your questions in the comment box or send us on our WhatsApp number, which are being shown on our screen. Yes, Zainab.
Assalamu alaikum and good afternoon to all our viewers who are watching this live session. I am Zainab Mazhar, the Education Counselor of UK. So as you know that HR and Education Counselor in UK and HR Consultants. As you know that HR Consultant is the leading education consultancy firm in Pakistan, started off in 1993. So we have main offices located in the main cities of Pakistan that can be easily approachable to every student and everyone. So the services provided by HR consultants are academic counseling, selecting the right institution, securing admissions, visa guidance, and free departure information. So today we have Christine. This session is basically for all the students who wants to apply their admission for undergraduate programs and for postgraduate programs. If you have any questions regarding the admission process, application process, and regarding the visa filing, HR team will always be here to help you and to support you. So today we have Christine, the regional manager of Leeds University. Hi Christine, how are you?
Hello, hi, I'm very good, thank you. Assalamu alaikum to everybody, and thank you to everybody for joining the session.
Walaikum assalam, Christina, how are you doing?
I'm very well, thank you. How are you?
I'm doing good, thank you. So, Christina, shall we proceed towards University of Leeds, the information about University of Leeds, and then we will, take questions from our students to, answer from you.
Yes, absolutely. So, I'll start with a short presentation.
Yeah, sure.
Hopefully, can you see my screen okay?
Yes, we can.
Okay, so I'll do a very short introduction about the University of Leeds for those who may not know too much about us. And then I'm hoping that what we can do is more of an interactive question and answer session, because I'm sure there's a lot of burning questions about admission and about what's possible at the moment, what the situation is. There's a lot of news about the UK, the GIR that you've mentioned. So we can discuss things that are most relevant to people. So I do have to apologize that my video isn't working. We have been testing it, but unfortunately my laptop doesn't want to cooperate today for some reason. But this is me. My name is Christina Kowalska. I'm the International Manager for Southeast Asia and UK International, so international students based in the UK. I have been working with HR and visiting Pakistan for a good number of years. So I think my first visit was in 2016, and I've been visiting quite regularly since. So I really love the people, fantastic students, really lovely hospitality in Pakistan. So it's a great shame that we can't travel at the moment. but we're doing as best as we can with virtual sessions instead to help guide students. So for those who may have not heard much about Leeds, Leeds is a Russell Group university, so one of the top research intensive universities in the UK, top 100 in the world. We are one of the most international universities in the UK, top 10 most targeted university by graduate recruiters, really highly ranked, top 3 for student experience, so students are really happy studying with us. And Leeds as a city is a really fantastic city to live in. It was voted the best city centre in the UK in 2019. So it's a really vibrant, really student-friendly city. You won't be bored, and there's something for everybody. So Leeds is right in the middle of the UK with excellent transport links, 3rd or 4th biggest city in the UK. And we're about 2.5 hours from London by train, about 1 hour from Manchester. And it's a really popular student city. Leeds is one of the most popular student cities in the UK and is also a very important city for business. So it is the biggest centre for legal and financial services in the UK after London. So it is a really key city with lots of work, part-time work for students, lots of professionals, lots of people moving into Leeds, including people moving from London. And it's got fantastic shopping, fantastic entertainment, and a great student life. So we know that students really love it here. It provides a really fantastic combination of being in a big city, but also on a university campus, which is quite rare to find in the UK. So this is our campus. We're right in the city centre, 10 minutes walk from the city centre, about 15-20 minute walk from the train station. And we're a one campus university just outside the city centre with accommodation either on campus or walking distance from campus. So this is really unique to have a Russell Group, very, very prestigious, very highly ranked institution in a big city with a campus right next to the city centre. This is a really unique position that really puts Leeds as one of the top choices in the UK. Leeds is in the top 5 most applied to universities in the UK, and one of the most popular choices internationally. So we were established in 1904, and we are one of the largest universities in the UK with about 38,000 students, about 9,000 international students from 170 different countries. And we offer over 300 undergraduate programs, over 200 master's programs. So there's a huge variety, and you can choose from the following faculties. So there's lots to choose from, including the very popular subjects from business through engineering to sciences to humanities. And we are seeing huge interest this year and huge demand, obviously, for courses in medicine and public health, in biosciences. I think everybody is realizing that scientists are absolutely key at the moment in the current situation, and we have some absolutely fantastic courses in those areas as well. In terms of entry requirements for undergraduate courses,
before proceeding further, I mean, if I may ask a question from you.
Yeah.
Yeah, as you were telling us that Leeds is a part of Elite Russell Group, and there are other 23 other universities as well. So what about a student, I mean, who is north of England for its admission? Then we know, I mean, there is University of Manchester and Imperial College London as well. So why one should prefer Leeds over those universities? Those are the part of Russell Group as well.
Yeah, that's a really good question. So I would say for every student, you should always do your research. So we would never advise that you choose a university just by the overall name or overall ranking. There's a few things that you need to be looking at to make sure that the university you're going to study with is the right choice for you. So obviously, institutional rankings is one thing to look at, and the institutional reputation is one thing. But you should always look at individual subject rankings, and Leeds is ranked top 10 in the UK for over 20 different subject areas. Students that choose Leeds over other universities would choose Leeds for a number of reasons. Why? Well, one of them is that they will know that we are really one of the highest ranked for a subject that they're interested in, so they know the reputation of our professors. They also may not want to be in London because London is probably twice the price in terms of cost of living compared to Leeds, but they still want to be in a big city. And then if you compare us to universities like Manchester, for example, Leeds, like I said, is a campus university. Manchester is more kind of scattered. It's a city university, so you have different buildings in different parts. So if you are looking for a campus environment, which I think what most Pakistani students would experience in Pakistan, that you would typically be studying in a campus university, in a campus environment, and that's part of what makes your student life so great and so enjoyable. If you are looking to be studying in a very high quality institution on one of the top ranked courses for your subject area, and you don't want to be paying London prices for accommodation, Leeds becomes a very, very unique and attractive university. Like I said, it's very rare to have a university this comprehensive, with our kind of reputation, having a campus right in the city centre in one of the most important business cities in the country. So I'd say these are the things that would make Leeds unique. And like I said, we're in the top 5 most applied to universities. I would strongly encourage students to talk to our current international students, which you can do through Link to Leeds. And ask students from different universities about their experience. We know that our students are very happy at Leeds, and they could give you plenty of reasons why they think Leeds is a better choice than maybe some other competitor universities. I hope that answers your question.
Yes, you have very well.
More questions? So, I mean, we can go on to questions if that's easier. We can do that. So do you have other questions that you wanted to ask, or does anybody else have questions?
Okay, Christina, can you just guide me about the location of the Leeds University, and how far it is from international airport? How students can, approach the university?
So typically the easiest way is to fly into Manchester, and if I fly to Pakistan, I will fly from Manchester because it's a lot easier for me. We are 1 hour train from Manchester Airport. There's also Leeds Bradford Airport, but it's mostly European flights. So for big international flights, if you fly into Manchester Airport and then you take the train directly from Manchester Airport to Leeds City Centre, we will typically have a meet and greet service for students. So we will direct you to your accommodation. You can fly into London and then either take a connecting flight from London to Leeds, or you can come from London on the train to Leeds. So there's a few ways, but if I was to recommend one, I'd certainly advise the best way is to fly into Manchester. And there are some direct flights normally. I mean, flights at the moment is you'd have to check what's available, but in the normal circumstances. Sorry?
Can you just guide us about the methodology of teaching and September intake? Would it be face-to-face or it would be online studies?
So at Leeds, for undergraduate students, we offer September start mostly. For some of the master's courses, it will be September start, but many master's courses we have moved to January based on the feedback we've heard from students. That they really wanted to have more options. So there's a lot of courses that will start in January. You can check that on our course finder, which courses are available in September, which courses are available in January. Now, in terms of the methods of teaching, because of the situation at the moment, we are preparing for all kinds of scenarios. So majority of our students, including UK-based students and international students, will start, especially undergraduates, will start at the end of September. If the situation in the UK is such that, you know, the government regulations allow us to open the campus, and this is the hope at the moment, this is what we're preparing for, that, you know, as the situation is calming down now, which is what we're seeing in the UK, we are preparing to open the campus for face-to-face teaching in September, at the end of September. However, it will be, we are getting ready for blended learning. So there won't be big lectures where you'd normally have, you know, substantial numbers of students in a lecture theatre. Those will be delivered online. And we will do seminars, so smaller classes will be done face to face. It all depends on the situation at the time. So nothing, you have to be ready that nothing is set in stone, and the universities in the UK as a sector, we are working together with the government, and we have to follow the government regulations. So as long as the situation is kind of calm and what we're hoping for, being back to normal, we should be able to do more face-to-face from September and October. However, we are getting ready for the scenario that in the worst case, if we have a second wave of the virus coming in the autumn and we have to do more online teaching, we have invested heavily in making sure that we have the right platforms, the right preparation, the right materials and support for students to be able to study remotely. The reason for that as well is that in case, if you're an international student and the situation in your country is a lot worse than it is in the UK, and for example, you can't arrive into the UK because there are no flights from your country, for example, at the time, we will be working to allow students to start their studies remotely. So definitely what you need to be ready for is some blended learning, which I think is the case with most universities all over the world, because we all had to adjust to the current situation. And I believe that universities in Pakistan are no different, where you know, people had to go into online teaching at least for a period of time, and there is gradual return to campus. So at the moment, the situation in the UK is getting back to normal, and we really have high hopes that by September we should be able to reopen the campus as much as possible. But that we are ready for offering blended learning, and if students can't arrive on time, they will be able to start remotely, and then by agreement with their school, let them know when they can arrive. So we're ready that some students may be able to arrive in October, some students may be able to arrive in November, some students may not be able to arrive until January. So there is that degree of flexibility that we're prepared for as a university.
Thank you, Christina, for a very well explained answer. I mean, it is really good news that you guys are, you know, preparing for face-to-face learning in September, and I hope that we all hope that you come to a decision very soon by the UK government that, I mean, whether you will go face-to-face or you will go for online classes for this for first semester. I was about to question that during these unprecedented times in the, you know, of the COVID-19, does the University of Leeds, I mean, have any flexibility towards GPA requirement? As we know that being a top ranked university, University of Leeds has requirements for its admission in an undergraduate program and postgraduate programs. So during this unprecedented times, I mean, the students, I mean, they must have, you know, faced some difficulties in their studies. So do you guys have any flexibility towards GPA requirements?
So there's a number of mitigations that we have agreed and with admissions because we realize that students have been put in a very unusual situation where, for example, they won't be able to take their final exams, they may not be able to have their final degree certificates on time. So we are still looking ideally at similar GPA, maybe some what we would call a near miss. So if you are just below what we would normally ask for, we can still consider. But what we have done is admissions are absolutely 100% understanding that students may not be able to produce the final results, especially if their universities or schools at home haven't been able to hold final exams. So we will be able to assess students on the basis of 7 semesters. So if you haven't been able to take your final exams, you don't have your final results, you can still apply to the university and explain why you're unable to provide the final degree certificate and final transcript, and ask the university if you can be assessed on the 7 semesters rather than 8 semesters. We are also being more flexible with English language tests that we can accept. So on our website, we have published a number of tests that you can take that the university would accept instead of IELTS. So because of the challenge of many IELTS centres around the world being closed, we've made a decision to be a lot more flexible and accept a lot more tests. So if you're looking for something that you can take from home, then TOEFL IBT Special Home Edition is one of the tests that you can take at home and we can accept. And there's been a number of others. So as we have reviewed our position on what we accept, we update our website. So if you check our website or international entry, which you can see on this screen, there is a section on English language requirements and what can be accepted.
That's a very good step taken by the University of Leeds, I must say. Students, you have heard that, the University of Leeds, they can offer you the admission on the basis of your 7 semesters results if you can justify that why you were unable to take your last semester exam. So you can still get your admission. While as far as the English language requirement is concerned, University of Leeds has a number of alternate English language tests that they can accept. One of them is TOEFL IBT and the other one should be IELTS indicator. So yeah, they have, to make their entry requirements flexible for you. All you need to do is to apply for the admission, and to apply for it, you have my number 322-5757-802, and you have Ms. Zana number. You have to do is to send us your documents on WhatsApp, and then we will apply for your admission straight away. So Christina, do you guys accept Duolingo as well as an alternative?
Okay, Christina, one of your students has asked.
Sorry, what was the question?
I was asking, do you accept Duolingo as well as an alternative for IELTS, Duolingo English language test?
So I think Duolingo is only accepted for our pre-sessional. For bachelor's and master's, I think it's mainly, we don't even accept IELTS indicator for that because it's not a robust enough test. But you can take Pearson test and you can take TOEFL Home Edition, and there's a Cambridge test that you can take. So like I said, the best source of information of what English language tests are acceptable would be the website. So if you go on our international pages, international entry requirements, there's a full list of courses available. We have assessed them all. So it was a robust process of assessing which ones are comparable to IELTS in terms of their level. So I would strongly encourage that you check, and we do update the web pages regularly as well. So I'd say check on there what you can take, and that will give you the best the best kind of source of information in terms of which ones are acceptable. I think Duolingo was only for pre-sessional, and so was IELTS Indicator. But for masters, it's Cambridge Test, Pearson Test, TOEFL Home Edition, which you can take at home. And then there are Password as well, which we accept.
All right, thank you. So Zainab, your question, please.
Okay, Christine, can you just guide us during the current situation, as Leeds University offers any discount in blending learning?
So if you can
Christine,
imagine,
I'm audible to you?
sorry?
Am I audible to you?
Let me rephrase her question. I think there is some disruption in her sound. I mean, she was asking during this current situation of COVID-19, if you offer blended learning, so you guys are, are planning to offer any discount or scholarship on that blended learning courses?
So like I said, we're preparing to do as much on campus as possible, and you have to understand that the university had to invest extra to be able to do blended learning. So we've actually had to invest a lot more money, time and resources to be able to offer both options. The scholarships that we offer, there's lots of international scholarships that students are still eligible to apply for, but there are no special discounts for blended learning, because actually I don't think any universities in the UK were able to offer discounts for blended learning. We don't know at the moment how much of this blended learning will actually be offered as well. But what you can definitely apply for is the international scholarships that are available, and some of them are partial scholarships from £2,000 to £5,000. Some of them are 50% scholarships. There are some that are 100% scholarships. I believe they do depend on the course, so you have to check the information for the relevant course that you're applying for. So there are some very generous scholarships available for people, but there isn't a blended learning discount as such.
All right. So, and Christina, I mean, what about the work placements? We know that you guys offer work placements in your undergraduate program, in most of your undergraduate programs. But do you guys have any work placement in any of the postgraduate program as well?
So usually no, because most of our master's programs are 12 months. They are very intense, and they focus on, on the academic kind of learning and developing skills. However, as a master's student, you will have a specific module which is employability related. And as a university, we organize hundreds of employer events. So there are job fairs, there are opportunities for mentoring, depending on the subject that you're studying with the relevant people. There are guest lecturers from the industry coming to the university. There are some short internship opportunities during their degrees. So there's lots of other ways that you can engage and work on your employability skills. And we have one of the best career advice services as a university in the UK. And like I said before, Leeds is the top 10 most targeted university by employers. Employers really engage with the university and work with us very closely. Every department at Leeds will have a placement coordinator, so an office that works on links with those employers. And there's lots of various events and lots of help to prepare students for applying for jobs, for applying for internships. So there's lots of ways. It's not integrated in the masters. In the UK, typically you're looking at studying for 12 months, getting your master's degree, and then applying for a job. And I think now with the reintroduction of the post-study work visa, so the graduate route that's coming in, that will really make it much more flexible for students to be able to stay after their degree and look for a graduate level work experience and that first graduate job in the UK. It will be a lot easier now than it used to be in the past few years.
That's a great support for the students who want to come to Leeds and who want to, to start their career in UK. Christina, my next question is, it is about the January intake, as you have, discussed earlier that you are planning to, start some postgraduate programs in January. Is there any chance for undergraduate programs to be started in January? Some of them can be started in January.
No, so because majority of students on undergraduate programs are actually British students in the UK, and that, having spoken to students both international and undergraduates, and because you would be spending 3 years in the UK, a decision was made that for undergraduates we will start as normal in September. But because for postgraduate courses the situation is very different, it's made sense for us to kind of push some of the courses to start in January. Actually, majority of Russell Group universities have not pushed to start any courses in January. Majority of them will start in September. So Leeds is very unique in that. But unfortunately, we can't start courses in January for undergraduates just because logistically as well, it is incredibly complex for a university of our size with 40,000 students and 300 undergraduate courses. It would be, we can't make that kind of change in the time scales that we're looking at. So, so for undergraduates, you start in September. You don't have to arrive on campus straight away. So we are ready that some students may arrive later. But you have to remember, as an undergraduate student, you've got 3 years of your degree. So it really, spending one semester still at home or a couple of months at home doing online learning is not going to have a huge impact on your university experience as such. And that, that's the situation that majority of international students will be in this year. So we know we're not unusual, and as much as I appreciate for some students it would be great to start in January, logistically it's just impossible for us to push undergraduate courses to January.
Thank you so much, Christine. You have elaborated in a very good way. One of the audience has raised a question that if a student has to pay 20,000 to 25,000 pounds tuition fee for Leeds, then why they should not prefer University of Manchester and Imperial College London?
So I think I've already answered that question at the beginning when you said, what's the difference? Let me assure you that the fees really reflect the quality of teaching, the professors, the research that we do, that goes behind, a given subject area. So I would always encourage students that they, if you are looking for a high quality course, I would always say don't just look for the name of the university, because if you want to really make the most of your investment, you want to make sure that the course teaches you the right things, the things that you're looking for, that you're learning from the top professors in their field, and that you will get the support from the university that you'd expect, and the environment you'd be studying will be the right environment for you. So it's an individual decision. Do you want to be, and can you afford being in London? Do you want to be in a campus environment? That makes us very different from Manchester, for example. We're a campus university, Manchester University isn't. There may be various reasons why you may choose.
Okay. Firstly, one student has raised a question that
Your connection's breaking. Sorry, Zainab,
There is some disruption in your sound, Zainab. Uh, well, I'll ask questions, Krishna. I mean, there is a question from a student who is interested in doing, physical therapy program, Masters of Physical Therapy. He is asking, do you guys have any particular scholarship for that particular program?
Sorry, can you repeat the program because it was breaking, so I didn't catch the program.
Oh yeah, it is Master of Physical Therapy. Do you guys offer that program? And if you do, then do you have any specific
How much
scholarship
scholarship the word
For a master's in physical. Sorry, I didn't catch the program because it was breaking too much. Okay, so I think the connection's gone really bad now. If I understand correctly, you're asking about scholarships for a Department of Physics. Is that correct?
For the Department of Physical Therapy.
I don't know what that course is, to be honest. So first of all, you have to check on our course finder if the course that you're looking for is offered. Whatever you may have seen as a course title, that may be different for every university. So unfortunately, I don't quite understand the course title here. I don't think we do anything by that exact name. We may be able to do something similar, but you'd have to look on our website. And then when you look up the course, or for every course that you look up on the website, there's a fees and scholarships section where you can check what scholarships are available for each course.
All right. And there is another question from a student who is interested towards PhD management or marketing. He's asking about the fully funded scholarship, if you have any for PhD programs.
So there are some Leeds doctoral programs that you can apply for, and sometimes there are specific projects. And the best way to look for a PhD, especially a funded PhD, is on our website. So you can look by department and you can look by funding available as well.
All right, all right. And if you please can share the fee structure of your undergraduate and postgraduate programs, as the students want to know about that.
Oh, so this is very different. It differs per program. And because we've got hundreds of them, it would be very difficult for me to tell you exactly. So the fees start from about £17,000 for more humanities, social science subjects, and they can go all the way to about £25,000 for very prestigious business programs or engineering, science, kind of lab-based programs where there's a lot more equipment and kind of labs involved.
Right.
These are published on the website. So for any course that you're interested in, you can just check, look at them up on the website, and fees and scholarships are very easily accessible from the website.
And do you have any fully funded scholarship at undergraduate level? And if you have, I mean, what's the criteria for that?
No, so unfortunately for undergrads, there are no 100% scholarships. Most departments will offer partial scholarships, and that again will depend on the course that you're applying for. Most of our undergraduate scholarships are progressive, so you get some portion of the scholarship every year. So for example, you can have £8,000 over the 3 years, but it will be split over the 3 years.
All right. And I mean, I want to guide my students that you have heard, Christina, that University of Leeds is offering admissions in undergraduate level and postgraduate level in September, and for some of the postgraduate programs in January as well. And they have scholarships available. I mean, partial scholarships are available up to 10%, 20%, 50%, and some fully funded scholarships at master's and postgraduate level as well. So all you guys have to do is to send us your documents for the admission, and we will, process your admission straight away. And I mean, if you have any question relevant to University of Leeds, about the admission, about, I mean, their requirements, their fee structure, we guys are available. Our numbers are are being shown on the screen. You can contact us on WhatsApp or you can directly call us. Christina, do you have any, credibility interview requirement before issuing the CAS?
No, we don't do credibility interviews by the university. We issue a CAS on the basis of the documentation sent, which is pretty thorough anyway. Credibility interviews is something that the Home Office and the visa center in a given country would do.
All right. And do you guys require any deposit of the fee before issuing the CAS?
For postgraduate courses, for master's courses, you have to pay £1,500 deposit before we issue a CAS. For undergraduate students, this isn't required.
All right. And
Okay. Christina, I have a question. As you know that accommodation is one of the concerns for international students. So how Leeds University facilitate in this situation?
So we are very lucky as a university to have over 20 different halls of residences to offer, and we can guarantee accommodation for international students, even for the full duration of your studies. So as an undergrad, if you want accommodation at the university for 3 years, we'll be able to sort it out for you. Not many universities are in that position. So in most cases, you'll find that students can get accommodation for first year and then they have to find their own. At Leeds, we're flexible. If you prefer to go to private accommodation, you can. But if you prefer to stay in the university accommodation for longer, you will be able to. Again, because of the situation, our accommodation contracts offered by the university are a lot more flexible this year than in previous years. Because we're also conscious that some students may be arriving later, some students may start in January. So there's the best source of information on accommodation is our accommodation website, or you can get in touch with our current international students if you just look up Link to Leeds, and our students will be able to guide you in terms of where to find information, which accommodation is on campus, which is walking distance, which is more appropriate for an undergraduate student, which is better for postgrad, what the prices are, which ones are catered, which are self-catered, and so on.
Okay, I have one more question. That does Leeds University deals with the credit transfer cases for undergraduate students?
Sorry, so can you say it again?
If a student who has completed 2 years of undergraduate from Pakistan and then he wants to transfer his credit hours into Leeds University, so does Leeds University offers any credit transfer cases?
No, so if you want to transfer after 2 years, we don't accept transfer students normally. So that's not normally an option at Leeds. And that's partly to do with, most of our courses are accredited. And so there will be limitations and certain criteria for what you need to have covered in the, from the first year of your studies to be able to qualify for those accredited courses. So unfortunately, that's not something that we are able to offer.
So, Christine, as you know that the current pandemic situation is being faced all over the globe, so what message do you want to give to international students?
Sorry, can you say that again?
As you know that the current pandemic situation is being faced all over the globe, so what public service message do you want to give to international students?
Public, you mean what courses I would recommend for students?
Yeah, what do you want to recommend for the students?
So I think, this is very individual. I wouldn't dare and convince an engineer to suddenly go and study public health, for example, but we have a number of fantastic courses, and we have seen globally the demand for, for biosciences, for medicine-related courses grow substantially all over the world. In Leeds, we have fantastic faculty of medicine and health and faculty of biological sciences, where there's a good number of courses that students can look at. I would say, always look at what your interest is first, what your background is. Obviously, if you're coming for a master's in this areas, you typically come from a similar background. If you're thinking of an undergraduate course, it really is key in a UK institution. Honestly, it is really key for us that students have the passion for the subject. You don't just look at, okay, this seems like there will be some good jobs in this area. It really pays off if you choose something that you enjoy, and rest assured that as a university, we will prepare you for a number of different careers. The job market in the UK is probably slightly different than in most countries, where we know that about 50% of graduates from any subject area may actually end up working in something completely different. We see businesses look for graduates from very different subject areas because they're looking at recruiting people with different skills.
Thank you so much, Christine. Thank you so much, Christine, for giving us a very precious time to have, guide us about the entry requirements, admission process, the main courses, and location, each and everything. So thank you so much for giving your precious time, and to all our viewers for watching this live session. If you have any queries regarding undergraduate and postgraduate application, you can WhatsApp us. You can reach us through email, to WhatsApp, to regular call. HR team is always here to support you. And Leeds University Admission Office is really very helpful and supporting for all international students. So my number is 0321 4747 315. You can reach us anytime. And thank you so much to all our viewers for watching this live session. If you have any concern, you can contact us. Thank you so much. Thank you, Christine, and thank you, Mayor.
Yeah, Christine, thank you very much. First of all, for a very well explained session. You have explained us everything in detail, and it is quite clear now that what an international student has to do in order to get the admission in University of Leeds and to be there. I want to request your advice on the current situation for the Pakistani students who are confused about the ongoing situation, that whether they will go to UK or whether they will start the semester here. So I would request your advice for them. What would you advise them?
So if anybody is thinking, whether should I join this September or should I join in January, should I defer for another year? We know these are very common questions and very important questions for parents and students at the moment. And I can't advise on the individual students because everybody will have their own valid reasons for why they may or may not be able to start their course. I would say, when you're making those decisions, you have to think that this is a global situation. And, whatever may be the situation now, in a few months' time, it will be different. UK is very well prepared, and there's a lot of things that the government and the universities are doing to keep students safe and to make sure that we can still offer very good quality education in this very different year for everybody. But also what I would say is consider, if you're thinking of deferring, you have to consider that next year, we don't know what the situation will be like. Will the pandemic be gone? Hopefully. But then also we will probably have double intake, which means that there will be graduates from this year and graduates from next year competing for places at universities. So the competition next year for undergraduate and postgraduate students may be double, and it may have an impact especially if you really wanted to get into one of the top universities, to one of the most popular courses. You may find that securing a place in those popular institutions on popular courses may be a lot more difficult next year than it would be this year. So you have to consider your own situation, how you and your family feel about your safety, what the situation will be. Will it be practical? Will it be possible to leave the country? And at the time, we're preparing to give students this flexibility to make decisions later this year than we would normally ask. So we're really trying to be as understanding as possible for individual situation. If you have questions, please do get in touch with the university. Please ask your questions, any concerns that you have. We have put lots of information about what we have done as a university to prepare the campus to be safe, to keep students safe. to make sure that you're aware that you can access public health services in the NHS in the UK. There's lots of support from the university, so we are getting ready to be really supportive and really make sure that it's a safe environment for students. But it's a very individual decision, but that's what I would say you should consider before you make a decision. So take your time and really think about the pros and cons. Do you have any more questions?
No, Christina, thank you very much for explaining in detail to our students that what they need to do if they want to study in University of Leeds. Guys, University of Leeds is one of the elite class universities of UK, and they are offering their admission for September and for January as well. Kindly send us your documents in order to apply for your admission. We wouldn't charge any application fee. I mean, you just have to send your documents and we'll apply for your admission. Admission is straight away. All you need to do is to send us your documents on our given numbers. My number is 0322 5757 802. And if you have any query, please feel free to contact us. We have very easy reach, so you can reach us anytime you want. I would like to take this opportunity to thank you guys to be with us for this very interactive and informative session about University of Leeds. Please take care of yourself, take care of your loved ones, and be safe. Please, thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, everyone.